The dead Wally appeared in the house to do the laundry. The husband was so frightened that he pointed with his hands. But strangely, the daughter seems to be blind. She told him to grow up and stop telling such jokes. But how could the husband mistake his wife, who had shared his bed for decades? He pointed at the decorator again. He made sure he was the only one who could see her before he realized something was wrong. From then on, his wife seemed to come back to life, doing chores around the house every day without speaking or being able to touch her. The husband couldn't help but be creeped out. He knew that he had been too busy with his work when he was young to care for his family, and now that he was living alone, he didn't even know how to use a washing machine. Then his wife came over and showed him how to do it. The husband immediately learned how to use it. There is a technique for arranging shoes according to the leather. Suddenly, the wife smiled at the husband's position and took out the leather shoes he always wore to work. The husband then remembered that this is 3 years ago his own work failure, even without a word of greeting, and slammed the door to leave. A friend who was a paranormal researcher heard about this and came to visit him and explained the phenomenon. This is the time and space remembered his wife's memories from 3 years ago to the present and now started to play back the remnants. According to this projection, tomorrow is the day his wife was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but he was too busy socializing that day to return her calls. Now, looking at his wife, who came out of the hospital and couldn't dial her own number, helpless and panicked, the husband realizes how much of a jerk he was. In order to make it up to his wife, he quit his job after 33 years of hard work and started to spend the rest of his life with her shadow. He learned how to make dumplings with his wife, but it wasn't pretty. He also learned how to keep the house in order. At this point, he realized that doing housework alone could be so lonely. Not only that, he also found out where his wife hid her secret money. He saw his wife take some money out of it and dress up prettily, not knowing where she was going. The husband secretly followed his wife into a luxury Western restaurant and ordered a good high-grade set menu and tasted it alone. He couldn't help but remember that his lunch money was only $10, but there was no jealousy in the husband's eyes, because this is the only luxury his wife has had all these years. All those hard-earned savings she had put into a new account for her daughter. As soon as the husband's words of reproach left his wife's lips, she suddenly appeared to be in a hurry. He followed her to a park and heard an old man who frequented the park lamenting about a woman who used to wave in the direction of the tram as it came by. The old man asked her why. She said her husband used to wave at her on the tram. The husband couldn't help but laugh. It was a promise he made to his wife when he was young and broke and rented a place on the railroad. He couldn't imagine that she remembered it to this day. The husband boasted to his friends about it, but they advised him to move out of the house, since it's a flashback. His wife will be gone in 3 years, and then he'll be parted for the second time. It's a pain that no one can bear. The husband understood, but he stayed with his wife every day, while he took her memory for granted and made it a part of his life. The second parting is approaching.